welcome again to my garden. You are joining me here in my backyard. I am next to my tomato container, and today I'm going to be taking a few plants out because, as you can see, the tomatoes are developing really well, but we do have a problem of space here. So before we get started, let me tell you just a little bit about the tomatoes and how they came to be like this. Back in March, we had the seedlings transplanted here. We got them from the garden center, a couple of them, and a few we started them from seed. Now we're really happy that all the tomato plants survived and that they are doing pretty well. I mean, look at their stems, very solid. I have been pruning and removing the lower leaves and filling up the pot, and that has helped a lot to get the tomatoes to this point. But I do realize now that we don't have any space for the plants to develop properly, and I'm going to be moving a few out to make room for the others. So the plastic greenhouse, which has a zip on two ends that we can close at night and open during the day, has helped a lot because the tomatoes were able to be outdoors and just grow normally without. So we currently have 9 tomato plants in this container, and they're all doing good so far, but I'm a bit scared that if I don't remove a couple, I might not see many fruits at the end. So I'm going to get that done now. I think I can take 4 out. And I'll be putting them, I'll put one in that grow bag, I'll put another one in that plastic container, and the other 2 I'll put in this large container. So I don't really know which tomato to take out. I'll try to get the tomatoes that are not yet carrying fruits or flowers. But at this point, most of them are carrying flowers. I'll try to find the smallest of the tomato plants to transplant. So I've just transplanted one of the tomato plants. I hope it's going to make it. I've put it in that new pot, and I've supported it with the stick. I still need to tie those. Now I'm going to take out the other plants that I believe would help the big container have more space. I want to try to plant them immediately as I remove them from this container, just to make sure that they have as little interruption as possible into their development. So here I made sure that I pressed the soil and to avoid any air pockets. Doing the same there to avoid any air pockets. So what I always do before removing the plant, I try to go in and kind of like create space around the roots of the plant. All right, so I have put in a bigger stake. So there we have it. I've now planted 2 of the tomatoes in this big pot. I'm going to now water all the plants. So now that I've transplanted the tomatoes and have fertilized, watered, and put in more soil, I'm putting in the stakes just to give some stabilities to the plants as they grow and produce fruits, so that they can they get support to carry the weight. So I'm using stakes that are at least as tall as the tomato itself it's going to grow. I'm using ones that are at least 1.80 m, and that is how high up the tallest tomato here in this variety is going to get. Now that I have the stakes in place, I'm actually already in the process of tying the tomato plants to the stakes. In this example, I'm using this twine. It's an organic material, and because I have 2 stakes in and two main stems, I'm attaching one stem to one stake and the other one to the other stake, and I'm using the same rope to do that. I'm making sure to leave enough room for the tomato to be able to further develop by not tying it too much or not tightening too much to the stick. So another way to stake the tomato is actually to attach it with a very short twine to the stake, just like this. I don't know if you can see that. So I just took a small piece of, so this is what I'm using. I just cut this off of a very long thread and made little pieces like that, and then I take one piece and use it to tie the tomato stem to the stake. I don't know if you can see that right there, just like that. And the tomato has enough room, but it's still tied to the, it's still solid against the stake. I'm just going to go ahead now and do the rest of the plant to make sure that they have enough support and that they are tied to the stakes. So I've now staked all the tomatoes on this side. So I'll be staking the tomatoes on this side as well. And that's a simple method of tying the tomato stems to the stakes. So now that I'm done staking the tomatoes, I'm just going to go ahead and prune them, remove all the new suckers and the lower leaves of the tomato, and then call it a day. So I actually did this just like 10 days ago, and I made a video on that. And now here I am pruning tomatoes again because they've just grown so massively. So now I've taken down the lower leaves, and then I think it is reasonable to remove this sucker right here, that one. So I'll take that one off, and then I'll do the same for the rest of the tomatoes. So what a couple of hours it has been for me today, trimming and pruning and transplanting all the tomatoes. But I'm so happy that I got this done today, and I believe now that the tomatoes have enough room to grow, and I look forward to lots of fruits this season. And thank you so much for watching.